Thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Progressive Queens, the show that talks about all things politics from a female progressive point of view, if I could say it all. And I'm joined by my fellow queens, Mickey and Jenny. Say hello, guys.
Hi.
In a nutshell, it's low for turnout. I mean, it is, and it's going to happen in November too, because this is an off year.
Right.
And who knows if it's still 17%, then we may be looking at a Republican for that district, although I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's pretty solidly blue.
So I'm just like, and then of course, the reasons why Nina lost. Oh, did I want to punch some people in the face, the literal face? First of all,
literal face.
Literally wanted to punch him in the face. Jason, Uncle Jason Johnson, you piece of crap. Oh, Nina didn't lose because of dark money. She lost because she brought in people to campaign and nobody wants to be told how to vote. Are you stupid? The entire congressional Black Caucus came to campaign for your candidate, Dudu Brown, but apparently you can't say anything. But boy, sit down somewhere and shut up.
And that was all over everybody, all of the corporate Dems, all the backers. They were all saying the same thing. It was Nina's fault she lost.
Mm-hmm. And I'm surprised I didn't hear, we'll see, people don't want Medicare for all. But then they had to admit they were lying in the first place when they said she did. So they can't do that. And I guess it's my fault for putting so much into this election because I don't live in Cleveland. I don't live in that area. But I felt like this was the last hope that we had because I can't think of any progressive that's ready to be president. I literally can't. I'm just like, okay, where they're at. Bernie's going to be too old to run.
What do you mean by ready to be president?
I mean, ready to be president. There's no progressive that I know of that's ready to be president. Or even to run.
I mean, Joe Biden was ready to be president and look what he's doing. Donald Trump was ready to be president. So what's your
I think when I'm saying ready, they don't have the political experience that it takes because I do think for president, it does take some political experience. You have to have some experience in politics, whether it was governor, senator, congressman, you had to have something. And you have to have several years of that. Cori Bush doesn't have several years.
But then there's that sweet spot where if you're there too long, then people are going to think that you're jaded, and you might already be. And so
that's what I mean.
Trump didn't have that experience. Reagan didn't have that experience.
I still can't name anybody that I would say, yep, that's it. That's the person I'm going to vote for instead of Biden. Maybe you all know who that is. I don't. I'm just like, okay, who?
No, I'm in the same boat you are. I think I was putting too much on Nina. And I do feel that she was our last big hope.
Yep, and I'm just like, I don't see it. As much as I love Nina, I don't think that even though she has political experience, she's not going to run. She's not going to primary Biden. There's no way she does it. She's not going to do it. So who does that leave?
I know, and there are some good progressives running who will run. But like you said, they haven't had the experience. They'll be good if they get voted in, but they're not ready for big time yet.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like that's the one office where I think, okay, you got to have some type of experience to get. You can't just jump in there, other Cori, and then just decide, oh, I was a senator and I'm Black, vote for me. No, it doesn't quite work that way. I literally can't think of anybody. I'm just like, okay, who is it? Maybe somebody else knows of a progressive that's out there that has the guts to run against Biden. I don't know who that is. I wish I did because I hate to have the choices that I have. It's either him or probably Trump because, again, if fair and eligible, he's running, period, and he's getting the nomination, period, he may just win it.
And if not him, DeSantis.
Well, I think that part of it is the two-party system. Like we've been saying for however long now, Democratic Party isn't where progressives belong. And if we keep primarying Democrats as progressives, they're going to continue winning because that's what Democrats do. And then your progressives might just not vote because they don't want to vote for a Democrat. We've got to expand our number of parties. We have to be able to do more than just two people.
But there's a problem with that though, because most people have that same argument. Well, a vote for, when I said I was going to vote for Howie Hawkins. Well, you're just voting for Trump. No, I'm not. I'm voting for Howie Hawkins. The average American still thinks if you vote for a third party candidate, it's like you're voting for the opposition of the other two. We still live in that mindset. As much as I agree, we need about 10 or 12 political parties in this country, and we have them.
Yeah.
Most people, when they go to that poll, they're geared to vote either one or two ways. It's either Democrat or it's Republican. No, I mean, there's very few of us that, like me, said, okay, I'm just going to vote for the Green Party candidate because I can't with either one of these knuckleheads. That's far in between. The most common person will say in their mind, oh, well, yeah, this guy isn't who I really want, but I'd be dang. Yeah, just like most people who voted for Biden in this election. Yeah. They hated Trump enough where they were just like, you know what? I don't even like Biden, but he's way better than Trump. My contention is he's not better than Trump, but again, that's just me.
Yeah, people are so entrenched in their party. Well, you can see that with the Blue MAGA cult. Their party can do no wrong. They can't see beyond what they've been fed by both sides, both corporate parties, and mainstream media. You have to vote Democrat or Republican. That's all. Nobody else is viable. What do you do with that?
And I think on the progressive side, we're going to have to watch it because there's a lot of people that are taking advantage of the progressive movement. And I'm like, dude, you not progressive. Now, I'm not the captain of the progressive queens. I'm not the captain of the progressive wing of any party. I don't pretend to be, but I know there's some core values that make you progressive. And when you go to the extreme, like the whole force the vote, where you don't have a backup plan in case that doesn't work because it was a dumb idea to begin with. Well, it wasn't a dumb idea. It was just poorly executed.
Do you realize there's almost 100 members in the Progressive Caucus?
Yeah, and it's only 11 that we can think of that are like really actually progressive.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're not progressive. But I think,
Pelosi said she's progressive.
She has that poster of Medicare for all in her basement. Hence, she's saying that, oh no, Congress is the only one that has the power to eliminate student debt. Like, you cannot be that, oh, you know better. But I really wanted to talk about, I don't like to call I'm just going to call them it is, the White People's Party movement and their role in this. I think they played a huge role that a lot of people are credited to or giving credit for, because they were in ground helping spread all these lies about me. She wasn't for Medicare for all. She wasn't for $15 wage. And I'm like, people look at her record and it was like, oh, well, she's a fraud just like the rest of them. She can't be a fraud if she's not in the office yet. And it's just like, oh, okay, nothing good enough for this type of crowd. And I think that type of movement, it could very well take over the progressive, where they're just like, no, it's not good enough. Unless you do this, and this, That's it.
And it's getting
People's Party
worse.
supporting Chantel? Is that what?
No, they were just saying, well, in some essence, they were, because they were saying, don't vote for Nina. Well, if you're saying don't vote for Nina, and there's only 3 Democrats, basically, well, either you're saying vote for Chantel Brand or that other guy that didn't even get 800 votes. It's one or the other. If you're saying don't vote for Nina, you're pretty much saying, okay, vote for Judy Brand.
Yeah. Well.
And how do we combat that? Because it looks to me like more people who have platforms, who have followers, YouTube, Twitter, all that, a lot more of them are going in that direction.
They are, and it's scary.
Pretend progressives. And they're more and more bashing the real progressives while not offering anything of their own. They're not.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that was my whole problem with that whole force the vote thing. It's not that I'm opposed to forcing a vote. My opposition was, okay, you're going to put it to the floor and you're going to withhold your vote for her because she didn't support Medicare for all. You already know she's against it. So don't support her anyway, irregardless of whether she.
But the reason I was for it is they would have to have a head count. And the people would see who is against Medicare for all. Because all these people spewing that they're for it, and they're not, their vote is going to tell us which way they go.
But Mickey, we already know who's against it.
But we'll have proof. We will have proof. We know a lot of things. But until it's there in black and white, a lot of people won't believe it. They need to see it for themselves.
Yeah, and then my other problem was, okay, who are you going to tout to run instead of her? Representative Jeffries, he's garbage. Who else are you going to put up? One of you all? You're not going to get any votes. So that was my second portion. I'm like, well, who? And those are my 2 problems. I'm like, okay, we already know who's getting. And let's just say she did put it up against a vote, or she did put it up for a vote. Is it going to be amended with like so many amendments added, it loses its power? Did you write the bill that she should put in? No. When you do those type of things, you have to have some kind of, okay, if this doesn't work, then we'll do this. They never had and then we'll do this. I'm like, okay, where's it at? Or maybe I just wasn't open to hearing it when I heard Jimmy Dore's name attached to it. Because I'm like, if I hear you put your mouth on one more woman of color, it's going to be something. Because you notice that's all he criticizes. You never see him criticizing a white politician. Never.
Well, who else? Let's see, Bernie and who else? Oh, he has criticized 2 white men.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bernie. He did criticize Bernie.
And Chomsky. They're both turncoats.
Yeah, they're both turncoats.
Don't listen to them anymore because they're both turncoats. They've both turned corporate. They've both been bought. How old is Chomsky? In his 80s? He's had a lifetime of good deeds. Because he said, well, all we have is Trump or Biden, vote for Biden. Same with Bernie. He's no good anymore. Both of them, their lifetime of fighting for the people doesn't count anymore because of that one thing. No, I didn't like it when either Bernie or Chomsky said it. And I said I didn't like it because unlike the cults, I can criticize my side. That doesn't mean I throw them both in the garbage, that they're no good anymore.
And they never have an alternative. And that's what this side did with the whole Nina thing. Oh, well, don't vote for her. Okay, why? Well, she's not really for Medicare for all. Really? Have you looked at her body of work? Have you heard any speeches that she's made? You're telling people don't vote for her for literally no reason.
For a lie. But don't forget, as Trump taught us, and so did Goebbels during the Goebbels, what the hell's his name? The Nazi. He said if you tell, huh? No.
Hitler?
No, Goebbels, G-O-E-B.
Goebbels, yeah.
Goebbels. He said if you tell a lie often enough, the people will believe it.
Hello, this is Tracy, and I want to let you know that the video that you just watched is just a snippet. And to see the whole wonderful episode, you need to be a Patreon. The link to be a Patreon is in the description section. Please check it out and please support. We need as much support as possible. Remember, you can always subscribe to our page and be notified when we get new videos. But if you want to see the whole video in its entirety, unedited, just off the cuff, no filters, no anything, be a Patreon. You can start as low as just $1 per month or $5 per month. We'll start to have polls. Sometimes I'll drop into the Patreon once we get a couple more members. But again, I just want to encourage you to support us on the Patreon. The link is in the description, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.